One more pay-per-view in the WWE before WWE WrestleMania on Sunday, April the 7th, and that is WWE Fastlane. And that'll be this Sunday, March the 10th, 2019, at Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. 8 matches on the card. First, a pre-show, a kickoff show match that was announced on SmackDown Live this past week. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade. I think the little big man, 619, Rey Mysterio, will win on Sunday. And then with the direction that they're moving forward with the United States Championship, with Samoa Joe potentially facing John Cena, I think now we might just get a singles match between these two at WrestleMania on Sunday, April the 7th. And then at that point, I think Andrade would go over. I think Rey Mysterio would send Andrade into the future as one of the top Latin America Mexican wrestlers that the WWE has to offer. So I think Mysterio will win at Fastlane, and then if they have a singles match at WrestleMania, which they might not, I don't know, I think Andrade would win that. But Mysterio, I think, will win on Sunday at Fastlane. Before I get to the main card matches, be sure to go check out my videos from SmackDown Live this past week. A total of 24 videos, including a full length video of the entire dark match after SmackDown Live, and 205 Live with the Viper Randy Orton and the phenomenal one AJ Styles. So a full match of that, plus entrance videos throughout the entire night. So go check those out. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media to myself, Coolhand Luke 96, and Gridiron Ring. So like, follow, and subscribe. Links are in the description below. Shield versus Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre in a 6-man tag. I think that will kick off the show. Get the fans involved a little bit, get them pumped up. And then I think the main event's going to be Charlotte and Becky Lynch. And if Becky wins, she'll be added to the Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania 35. It'll become a triple threat. Now, if Becky loses, it'll only be Ronda versus Charlotte. And then at that point, I think Becky would face Asuka for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship at WrestleMania 35 as well. So, first things first, Shield versus Baron Corbin. The Shield consists of Roman Reigns, who just returned a couple weeks ago after his battle with leukemia, Seth frickin' Rollins, and the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. So the Shield versus Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre. We'll just call them the heels because they really don't have a name for the three of them other than their 3 superstar names. But one way or another, I don't care what's going to happen in this match. Long story short, the Shield, they're clearly going to win on Sunday. There's no way around it. The Shield, there's no way they're going to lose on Sunday. The Shield will win on Sunday at WWE Fastlane. Reigns might get a match versus one of those 3, whether it be Corbin, Lashley, or McIntyre. I don't know. Same thing with Ambrose. They might have Rollins pull double duty at WrestleMania 35 if they want to have the Shield versus somebody else as well, because right now they're promoting this as the last time ever for the Shield being together, because Ambrose reportedly going to be leaving the company after Mania, but who knows if he'll resign or not. That's still yet to be seen. We'll have to find out and see. But Reigns, depending on if they want another Shield match, which they very well could, they might have Rollins pull double duty, but if not, Reigns, I think, will get one of these 3 at Mania, along with Ambrose maybe. And then, obviously, Rollins is already scheduled to face the Beast Incarnate himself, Brock Lesnar, in probably going to be the co-main event of Mania, with the women probably going to main event WrestleMania 35 this year. Rollins will face Lesnar for the Universal Championship after he won the Royal Rumble about a month and a half ago now. So, obviously, every storyline basically, what's the word I want to use? Coming together, I'll say that. Everything's everything's being settled, everything's being set in stone, basically, now, as we're only a couple weeks away from Mania, actually a month to the day that I am recording this here today, Thursday, March the 7th, 2019. So 1 month from today, 1 month, that is when WrestleMania 35 will be in East Rutherford, New Jersey at MetLife Stadium, home of the NFL's New York Football Giants and New York Jets, Jets. So, to everybody that is going to WrestleMania, have fun. Wish I could be there. And then if you are not going to WrestleMania, I hope to see everybody on Sunday, obviously, for Fastlane. But then, and on, April the 5th, the Friday before? Yeah, the Friday before Mania for NXT TakeOver Blacklist. They have not officially announced it yet, but that's what it's going to be. And then I hope to see everybody 1 month from today, right here on YouTube, for WrestleMania 35 for my live reactions play-by-play of the grandest stage of them all in professional wrestling. So, yeah, Shield will win, I think, along with Rey Mysterio for the first two matches, there, that I have gone over so far in this predictions video. Be sure to hit the little thumbs up button and share this as well with friends and family on social media. Like, follow, and subscribe to Gridiron Ring and myself, GoHandLuke96, on social media. As always, the links are in the description below. Next, the SmackDown Live Women's Championship match, Asuka versus Mandy Rose. These two actually faced off this past Monday night at a house show, and Mandy Rose actually injured Asuka. And I talked about this during the Raw and SmackDown recap, because Mandy Rose then ended up having a match versus Naomi, and then Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, after Mandy won, were walking backwards up the ramp, and then Asuka attacked. So Asuka, it looks like she's good to go. It looks like she's fine. Not really anything serious, thank God. You never want to see anybody get injured. I don't care who you are. But Asuka, Mandy Rose still on for Fastlane on Sunday, and it's going to be for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship this time around. And I mean, Asuka basically stood tall with her attacking Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I want to be shocked if Mandy wins, but I don't see Asuka losing. So I think Asuka's going to win, and then I think I said this in one of the Raw and SmackDown videos within the past couple weeks. I believe they're going to have, because one way or another, I don't care how you get to it, it's going to be a triple threat for the Raw Women's title between Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte. If not, Becky, they could put her on SmackDown, but I think it's going to be Asuka versus Lacey Evans, because I think they're really, really high on her right now, because she's been on both Raw and SmackDown like every single week the past month. So Asuka, I think she'll win, and then I think she'll face Lacey Evans, the sassy Southern Belle now is what they're calling her, at WrestleMania 35. Up next then, the Boss and Hug connection of Bayley and Sasha Banks will defend for the first time ever their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships versus Nia Jax and Tamina. On Monday Night Raw this past week, Nia defeated Sasha in a singles match, so Nia and Tamina then stood tall 95% of the time. If you stand tall on a go-home show before the pay-per-view, you lose at that pay-per-view. So Bayley and Sasha, I think, will retain. They'll win, and then maybe face Trish and Lita at WrestleMania. Maybe somebody else. We'll have to find out and see what they do with that moving forward. But Boss and Hug connection of Bayley and Sasha Banks, I believe, will win on Fastlane. At Fastlane on Sunday, The Revival then, in a triple threat Raw Tag Team Championship match, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder of The Revival will defend versus Aleister Black and Ricochet, and Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. So technically I did get this right. I believe I said this a while ago. It was either going to be a triple threat or a fatal four-way, but now Tommaso Ciampa is injured. He's getting neck surgery now next week, and he's going to be out of action for a while. It looks like they're probably going to send Johnny Gargano back down to NXT, maybe have him become NXT champion, maybe Adam Cole, maybe Velveteen Dream. I'd probably put it on Gargano for now, have Cole and Dream go at it for the NXT North American title, and then still have Undisputed Era with the War Machine, the War Raiders, NXT Tag Team Championships. Baszler, they might move her up to the main roster after Mania. They could move any of these guys up to the main roster after Mania as well, so it's hard to tell what they'll do moving forward. It's really all going to depend on what happens at NXT TakeOver Blacklist. Yeah, 2 nights before WrestleMania now. Friday, April the 5th. They moved it back to Friday instead of Saturday because they're having the Hall of Fame ceremony on Saturday once again because they didn't want to compete with New Japan Ring of Honor because they're having a show also that Saturday in New York City at Madison Square Garden. So the Revival, Aleister Black and Ricochet, and Bobby Roode and Chad Gable in a triple threat for the Raw Tag Team titles. I think the Revival will end up winning because Roode and Gable stood tall on Raw this past week after they attacked the Revival and Aleister Black and Ricochet. And then I think Aleister and Ricochet, I think they're going to be on both Raw and SmackDown moving forward. Maybe a singles match between the two of them if somebody turns on each other, maybe on Sunday or on Raw and SmackDown in the next couple weeks. But I think the Revival will retain. I think they're going to have them as the Raw Tag Champs for the foreseeable future. Then the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships are also on the line. The Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso, they are going to square off versus the Co-Besties, aka the best tag team in the world, The Miz and Shane McMahon. And I think the Usos are going to retain as well. I think the whole card basically predictable because I think The Miz is either going to turn on Shane or Shane's going to turn on The Miz. It's going to be one of the two. I said it in the Raw and SmackDown recap this week. The Miz, if he turns on Shane, it could be with some help from his father, and vice versa. Maybe George Mizanin, I believe is Miz's dad's name. Maybe he helps Shane turn on The Miz, and then you have his dad in the middle of the two of them for a match at WrestleMania 35. So the Usos, I think they'll win. The Hardy Boys coming back as well. I think that's going to be a WrestleMania match right now for the SmackDown Live tag titles. Usos versus Matt and Jeff Hardy. And then one way or another, it's going to be a singles match with The Miz and Shane McMahon, also at WrestleMania 35. So the Usos retain as well on Sunday at Fastlane. Then the co-main event, probably the WWE Championship match, Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens. So the new Daniel Bryan, the current WWE Champion, current Planets Champion as well, will square off versus the returning KO, Kevin Owens. And I think Daniel Bryan's going to retain as well. I think Kofi Kingston of the New Day will get involved one way or another, maybe Big E and Xavier Woods as well, because originally it was supposed to be Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, but then Vince McMahon brought back Kevin Owens, inserted him into this WWE Championship match on Sunday at Fastlane. So I think Kofi, or the New Day in general, will screw over KO, and then Bryan will retain. We'll get Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania 35 for the WWE Championship. I think at that point, depending on how the fans are still reacting to Kofi, you might have Kofi win, you might not have him win, you might have Daniel Bryan retain. I wouldn't mind a triple threat as well between the three of these guys, but I think Kevin Owens is going to move on potentially to the United States Championship with Samoa Joe, but that looks like it's going to be Samoa Joe and John Cena. But Owens has done the new face of America, or whatever the hell it was called before, with the United States title when Jericho and AJ Styles were involved in that as well. Maybe Sami Zayn comes back. You got Mustafa Ali. Who the hell knows what they'll do with Kevin Owens, but I don't think it's going to be in the WWE Championship picture after Fastlane, because I think Kofi Kingston will get involved one way or another with the New Day and screw him over, and Daniel Bryan will retain. So Daniel Bryan will defeat Kevin Owens on Sunday at WWE Fastlane to retain the WWE Championship. And then Charlotte versus Becky Lynch, and in my opinion, and this is why I'm doing this last, my opinion, I think this is going to be the main event of the show. Now, Ronda Rousey, she'll probably be there. She might come out afterwards, who the hell knows. But if Becky wins, she will be added to the triple threat, to the match at WrestleMania 35 to make it a triple threat between Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte for the Raw Women's title. And then if Becky loses, it'll only be Ronda versus Charlotte. And then at that point, I think Becky, they'd put her on SmackDown to face Asuka, but I think Asuka's going to face Lacey Evans. So Becky Lynch, she'll win. I don't care how she's going to win. She's going to win. It's going to be a triple threat. I've been saying this for I don't know how long now. We all know it. It's going to be a triple threat at Mania. Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. So Becky Lynch wins at Fastlane on Sunday, and it will be a triple threat then at WrestleMania 35 in the main event for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. So thanks for listening to my WWE Fastlane predictions 2019. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, hit the little thumbs up button. Like, follow, and subscribe to Gridiron Ring and myself, Kohan Luke 96, on social media. The links are in the description below.